What's going on, all you Minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 20 most wanted Batman-related omnibus, so stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. Before getting started, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. We put out videos every day, sometimes two. Ring that bell for notifications to let you know when our videos are going live. We are on Spreadshop and on Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel, and thank you so much to our existing patrons. Couldn't make videos like this without you all. So, this is my list of the top 20 Batman-related omnis that I want from DC Comics. So what better way to kick off the new month? So July 1st, here we go. By the way, this is going to be a countdown, and I will put the list in the description of the video. And again, my list, I would love to know what yours are. If you just have a top 5, top 10, hell, even if you have a top 50, leave it in the comments section. And let's go ahead and get started. Number 20, Shadow of the Bat. By the way, I'm also putting the content, so I did the mapping, down here at the bottom somewhere, okay? And the picture that I chose for the omnibus, and just my idea. But if you have a better idea, by all means, let me know. So, yes, Shadow of the Bat. This is after Alan Grant ended up leaving his run on Batman. They gave him a new series called Shadow of the Bat. And this really is kind of the... It was a series where it wasn't just a psychological look at Batman, but his nemesis. Thought that was really cool. There's a lot of characters that like Zaz that appears throughout the pages of this run. Number 19, Batman. Let's have an Elseworld omnibus. That's what I'm talking about. So of course I'm including the classic Red Rain, the Blood trilogy, if you will, with Kelly Jones on artwork. I love that stuff, the Crimson Mist and all that. But I'm also including stuff in here that hasn't really been collected as much. And all that is down here, by the way, and that's Castle of the Bat, and as well as Gotham by Gaslight. Even though we have a deluxe edition of that, it'd be really cool to have it in an omnibus format, and it's one of the best classic stories. So all the Elseworld tells take place outside of the DC continuity in its own little what-if, if you will, universe, where Batman's a vampire, Batman is going after Jack the Ripper, and things like that, or Batman got the Green Lantern ring. Number 18, Batgirl, Stephanie Brown. So, with the love that Batgirl has been getting in the New 52 era, we got the Gail Simone omnibus, and we're going to have the Batgirl Burnside omnibus. Why not? It's time to go back and revisit this character of Stephanie Brown, the long-forgotten Robin. But we'll get to talk about why here in a little bit. But yeah, this was a short run, and honestly, it can be collected in one omnibus. And that's it. That's it. I love that run. It's written really well. Number 17, Birds of Prey by Chuck Dixon, Omnibus, Volume 1. I think there'll be 2 of these. This really sets up the characters of mainly Black Canary working with Oracle. But you also have other guest stars, including one of my favorite characters of all time, Ted Kord. And it does predate the Gail Simone stuff. Just wait for that. And I think, like I said, there'll be 2 volumes of this. But this will include all the one-shots and all the little mini-series leading up to the main run in the 90s. It's not the last time you're going to see Chuck Dixon's name either. Alright, number 16, Batman Joker's Last Laugh Omnibus. Here's something that I think we were really just kind of shafted with. We got a trade paperback of the Joker's Last Laugh, just collecting the 6-issue miniseries. However, it was such a big, not only just Batman event, it was a big DC event. I have a custom bound of this. There is enough material for one big omnibus of this event. And primarily it does focus on Nightwing and Joker, but, you know, Batman does play, of course, a heavy part in this particular storyline. Number 15, Azrael, Volume 1. So, I have this mapped with the 4-issue miniseries, of course, leading into Nightfall. That leads into Knight's Quest, and that leads into Knight's End. So we'll probably need some recap pages to see where Jean-Paul Valley was during the time of the miniseries and the ongoing series. Now, this may seem like a lot of issues, but, I mean, we do have the Uncanny Omar talk pretty one day, Long Bow Hunters, and the Justice League Dark Omnibus coming out. So, we know they like to make them thick. But I did have it all the way up to issue 46, because as of issue 47, it becomes Agent of the Bat, so it's Azrael, Agent of the Bat. I mean, this is Dennis O'Neil, Barry Kitson, Joe Quesada. Hell yes, we need that. Red Robin Omnibus. So, this was an era that the trade paperbacks are long gone. This was never reprinted in a big, thick trade. At least Stephanie Brown got big, thick trades. Red Robin got no love. So this is written by Chris Yost. Eventually, Fabian DiCiesa takes over the run. There is a crossover that I included in here with the Teen Titans. That's towards the tail end of the Teen Titans run. But I feel like they're important. And also, of course, I wanted to include things like Battle for the Cowl in here because that didn't get an oversized format treatment. And I feel like it, you know, you have Tony Daniela on artwork. So, of course, I like to see that. And number 13, Batman by Doug Moench and Kelly Jones. So, these were previously released as the Batman hardcovers. They were standard edition hardcovers. But I love this run so much. It was like Doug Moench. It was Kismet. It was like his type of storytelling fit perfectly with Kelly Jones' art style. Or Doug Moench is just one of these writers that can just roll with the punches and see an artist and say, huh, I like to do some darker stories that fits that guy's artwork. Because that's what these were. These were so good. And I did leave out some of the issues with the crossovers in here, but they are collected elsewhere. But I feel like, you know, since those trade paperbacks, or I'm sorry, hardcovers are long out of print, it's time that we get them back. Now, the next one, it's one of my favorite ones. I cannot believe we don't have anything yet. And that is Legends of the Dark Knight, Omnibus Volume 1. We have, you know, I mean, we have some important stories like Shaman and Venom in here. And yeah, we've got 2 printings of Venom, but a lot of these old trade paperbacks from Legends of the Dark Knight are long out of print, and I've only had 1 printing. So the first, at least, I want to say the first 20-something issues take place in Batman's past. So he's not a Batman that has been around for a while. He's a newish Batman in these old stories. So he's still kind of a rookie. You know, post year 1, not that bad, but definitely kind of a rookie. And that's why I enjoyed a lot of those old stories. I mean, you have some of the Grant Morrison writing in there. And there's some phenomenal story arcs. I also included the crossover with Batman and Detective Comics. Number 11. Heck yeah, we need another crossover. Batman War Games. Absolutely. And I also included the War Crimes, which is kind of fits in like an aftermath. There's a lot of awesome things that happen in this particular crossover. This is the big out, all Gotham is at war with the underground. You have so many different characters that are fighting against each other. There's death of characters. There's characters that are making returns throughout this crossover event. And then there is one particular character that I know pissed off a lot of people when they killed this particular character off, including me, and the way it was done, because but that was retconned later on. So, except for the reason why this person did it. Man, it's hard to talk about this without giving spoilers. But anyway, absolutely. And the artwork is freaking stunning. Alright, I said it wasn't going to be the last time that you saw his name. So, Robin by Chuck Dixon, Omnibus Volume 1. And I want to collect everything. When Tim Drake first started going under the wing of Batman, if you will. But when he got the costume in some of the earlier miniseries, you have artwork in there by Tom Lyle. Eventually, rest in peace, Tom Lyle. I love that guy's artwork. And then, you know, Tom Grumet on the ongoing series. But what I didn't want to include was A Lonely Place of Dying, which is the introduction of the character of Tim Drake, because I think that really belongs in another collection. This is more of him going from Tim Drake, becoming Robin, and then just going from rookie to pro and leaving Jean-Paul Valley because he's had enough. So I also included the issue where Jean-Paul Valley is choking him, and he's like, nope, deuces, man, I'm out. I'm rolling solo. Number 9. Hell yeah, I had to include this. Some of you all thought I was crazy for not including it in my most wanted DC Omnis. Well, I knew I was going to make this list and I wanted to put it in here. And that is Manhunter, Kate Spencer Omnibus. So all of Marco Andreyko's run on Manhunter. All 38 issues. And also the uncollected material from Gotham, Streets of Gotham. So absolutely that needs to be in there. So we were going to get a volume 6, but that got canceled of the trade paperbacks. It never happened. So why not? An omnibus would be awesome. I love these stories. She's a phenomenal character. And I snuck it into a Batman related omnibus. Number 8, Dark Knight's Metal. So this is one that Scott Snyder hinted that was coming 3 years ago. Almost 4 now. And we still don't have any of it. There's a lot of, there's trade paperbacks, standard size hardcovers, and a deluxe edition. It's almost like a mix and match, but I'd rather have all of it just in one place with a proper reading order, because a lot of these one-shots take place in between those issues of Dark Knight's Metal. So, we could talk about Death Metal later on, but right now I think it's more important that we finally get Dark Knight's Metal. And was it the Year of the Villain? That would have been nice too, but another day. One thing at a time. Number 7, Batman Red Hood and Hush Omnibus. Now, I was one of those people that was really excited about the Hush Omnibus that was canceled by DC. And I was mainly excited about that because there was a lot of material from Hush Returns, from Streets of Gotham, that just... Oh no, Gotham Knights. From Gotham Knights that weren't collected anywhere else. We had one trade paperback of that collection, but we needed a second one. And sadly, it got canceled, and instead we got a Paul Dini Omnibus. And I also think it's Jim Lee's artwork, so of course we need the original Hush story in there. But both Red Hood, without spoiling much of anything, and Hush, both of their beginnings kind of intertwined with each other. Because, well, you can find out for yourself what I mean by that. So that's why I put it as a Red Hood and a Hush Omnibus. So you have the appearances of Under the Red Hood, when the character first came back, and also included the Lost Days miniseries, as well as that wonderful annual. I love that annual because it has that one page by Jim Aparo, my favorite Batman artist, in there, the unused page. Number 6, Catwoman by Ed Brubaker Omnibus. Now, this could be all in one. I love this run. And I know some people are probably wondering, where's Jim Balance? I would rather have this first. Of course I want Jim Balance run as a 90s kid. More of an 80s kid, but I also read a lot of the 90s Catwoman. But I think Ed Brubaker's run was just so solid, and you have Darwin Cook on a lot of the artwork here. I also included Selena's big score. It's one of my favorite runs that he did. And, I mean, has that man ever done any wrong? No, let's not talk about X-Men Deadly Genesis. Number 5, my favorite Batman crossover. So I put it together with another one because I think they go hand in hand, and that is Batman Contagion and Legacy. So, Legacy's my favorite crossover. It is the return of one of my favorite Batman villains of all time. Oh, actually, my favorite Batman villain of all time. And Contagion leads directly into Legacy. So, all of that, of course, leading directly... Well, not directly, but eventually will lead into Cataclysm, Cataclysm Aftershock, Aftershock Road to No Man's Land, and then No Man's Land. Which most of that has already been collected in the Road to No Man's Land omnibus, so I figured we need something like this. And I also included the Bane of the Demon miniseries. And number 4, so we're getting to our top 4. By the way, this list was kind of hard, because I had to knock out things like Harley Quinn, and what was the other book that I'm like, I can't believe I'm not adding this on here. Because there was a Silver Age book at one time, just because I wanted to see some Batman Silver Age, give it another shot, but I'm like, well, no, it's my list, I gotta be true to myself. So again, please, in the comments down below, let me know what you would have put on the top 20, top 10 list. Number 4, Birds of Prey by Gail Simone. I love Chuck Dixon's run. I think Chuck Dixon's a phenomenal writer, but what really put these characters on the map for me was Gail Simone. The addition of Huntress, and then on top of that, oh my gosh, DC knew what they were doing. They got Ed Benes, who, man, that's a cake artist, right? Throws them women thick. And my goodness, that's what drew a lot of guys to read Birds of Prey. But damn, her writing was so good that a lot of people just started following her. And then eventually we got Nicola Scott to draw a lot of the stuff. And this run, if you've not read it, is freaking phenomenal. Now, there is enough material for a volume 2, but let's go ahead and start with a volume 1. I didn't want to get greedy. I love this stuff. Oracle, Black Canary, Huntress, and then eventually they get more characters. So, oh, Yeah, this was, to me, my favorite era of Birds of Prey. Number 3, Batgirl, Cassandra Cain. Volume 1. There's enough for 2 volumes. But that is my Batgirl. I grew up in an era where Barbara Gordon was Oracle, and there was no Batgirl. So, to have a character, Cassandra Cain, just appearing in the pages of No Man's Land and blow up, I fell in love with that character. I love how awesome she was. She was a badass. Well, that will spoil things. She's a badass. And she comes from a badass lineage. So, man, this run is so fun. And like I said, enough for 2 volumes. So I know a lot of people share my love of Cassandra Cain. And for those of you that have not read it, the trade paperbacks, some of them are still available. Like Silent Night, I think it's still available. If it's not, at least I didn't see it too expensive. Getting down to our last 2. Number 2. It was tough because this was almost number 1. But Nightwing by Chuck Dixon. Hell yes. Scott McDaniel's artwork in the course of Volume 1. Kicking it off with Alfred's Return. I know that's been printed in the Night's End Omnibus, so Nightfall Volume 3. But I think it's a good thing to have it in this one too, as well as the mini-series, what was that called? The Ties That Bind. And then the ongoing series, which is freaking phenomenal. It's Dick Grayson, you know, respecting the idea of Batman. Admitting that Batman is a great man. But hell no, he never wants to be Batman. He wants to be Dick Grayson and rolling solo in the city of Bloodhaven, which is a lot worse, more corrupted and dirtier and grittier than Gotham was. So it's him and then the jobs that he takes, oh my gosh, the supporting cast, the crazy villains he has to fight, the return of some villains from his Teen Titan days. And like I said, Scott McDaniel's artwork. Eventually Greg Land takes over the book, and Greg Land's artwork during this time actually is pretty damn solid. So this is one of my favorite runs at DC, and if you've not read it, the trade paperbacks of this era is still available. Well, art's still available. I don't think any of them are out of print. I think there's a total of 8 of them. But I did include Year 1 in here, so issues 101 and 106, because I think that is a great way to kick off the character of Nightwing. Even though it's later on that Chuck Dixon and Scott McDaniel return to do that particular story, I think it's important to start it off like that. And speaking of starting it off, our number 1, or my number 1, not our number 1, I'm sorry. Batman the Caped Crusader Omnibus Volume 1. Now, I initially wanted to call this Batman Post Crisis on Infinite Earths, or Batman After Crisis, whatever, Volume 1. But I think the Caped Crusader really sums up what this is. And that is Batman after everything was rehauled at DC with the Crisis on Infinite Earths maxi series. And, you know, we got Year 1. So Year 1 is in here. And honestly, I would kick it off with Year 1, even though, what is it, issues 401 to 403 take place before Year 1. So with the introduction of Magpie. But I think kicking it off with Year 1 and then having those issues of Detective Comics and the issues of Batman will make sense. So it's the reintroduction of a lot of these characters that we've used to. They have been reimagined. But it's Batman at its core, and honestly, I cannot believe this stuff hasn't been collected just until 2-3 years ago when they started doing the Dark Knight Detective collections and the Caped Crusader collections. That's the first time that we've had a post-crisis Batman collected anywhere. I cannot believe this and Man of Steel has not been in omnibus format yet. So that is my number 1 most wanted. Oh, out of all of these, I think that's the one that I would want DC to make the most if I had my wish. Can't believe I'm wasting a wish on that. But my comic wish, if you will. And if these books ever come out, any of them, don't forget to check out our sponsor, CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online source for collected editions up to 50% off retail price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on excellent packaging, so your stuff gets to you in excellent condition, and they have amazing customer service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And for all you Minties that are watching, if you're a first-time customer, don't forget to mention that Near Mint Condition sent you their way for a promotional credit on free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your source for the hottest books with deep discounts, customer service, and excellent shipping that will keep you coming back for more. And that was my list of the top 20 most wanted Batman Omnibus editions. So, I would love to know what yours are. Leave those comments down below. Let me know your list. Again, I'll have the full list in the description of the video. And by all means, please, if you think I left something out of my mapping, I love talking to you all about that stuff. Leave that in the comment section as well. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, check us out on Spreadshop and on Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so. And more importantly, everyone, please stay healthy, stay safe, and much love.